sky is a powerful metaphor because as long as we've been around, it's totally enveloped us, wrapping us not only in bright, comforting light, but also heavy layers of mystery and possibility, as for hundreds and hundreds of years we've asked it again and again, what's up there? How far do you go? Where do you lead? That's why, for billions of us, the sky represents everything, the big opportunity, a chance to reach for the edge and somehow just sneak past it. To us, the sky means anything is possible. We humans pride ourselves on our natural optimism and curiosity. That's why we always write aliens into our science fiction stories that marvel at it and muse about it with their weird alien friends. But what does that have to do with video games? And what about my ideas makes them so excellent? In the professional world, there's a concept known as blue sky thinking, so named because it describes the time at the beginning of an immense undertaking when it's extremely important to be totally open-minded so you can figure out what your ideal outcome is just like a wide-open sky, completely free of any of the little gray clouds with names like practical or nuanced or cost-prohibitive. It keeps you from rationalizing away a good idea without giving it a soul first. And actually, that's what this show is all about. It isn't that my ideas are necessarily excellent on their own, it's the excellent games that will inevitably come when people are willing to put their ideas out there, to reach into space and grab at the moon, to aim farther, to grow, to go beyond what's old and stale and boring. But today, metaphor becomes literal. We reach for another excellent game, this time in outer space. Outer Rim. A large rock floats in the middle of a remote sector of outer space. Upon closer inspection, there's a little activity there. You and your clan of merchant, pirate, mercenary spacer types have actually been living here for years, an outlaw sanctuary located far out along the outer rim of the galaxy. No one has passed through for centuries, and life is good if a bit repetitive. The game opens just one day after your father died and made you head of the whole clan. All eyes are on you today because everyone's wondering what you're planning for your first trip around the galaxy. When it's your job to provide for hundreds of good people left defenseless out in the depths of space, there's not even time to grieve, and the way you choose to conduct yourself as you work will determine whether or not you even survive. Admittedly, this concept on its own is a bit cliché and predictable, but the message couldn't be more clear. Go and explore the galaxy however you want as a captain with a crew. But rather than placing you into the shoes of a digital character whose eyes you see through and whose body you control, our game brings the action into the real world, transforming your living room into the bridge of a spaceship and your friends into your most trusted officers. Oh yeah, and we'll finally land on a way to make the Kinect and the PlayStation Eye worth keeping hooked up, and we'll actually make those weird smart glass style companion apps useful, and we'll find a way to give back to society. And it'll be a single server every player in the same world MMO. Blue Sky Phase is awesome, you guys. Whenever you start up the game for a session, you start back at the last port you visited, and you're given different sizes of ship to fly out in, depending on the size of your crew, ranging anywhere from 2 to something like 9 or 10. Player 1 always uses the controller to fly the ship, but for everyone else on that day's crew, here's where companion apps come in. Where most developers are using these apps to do things like allow you to view special features while also watching Game of Thrones on Xbox, or playing an off-brand version of Farmville or Mafia while also playing Assassin's Creed Unity, utilizing these devices as low-tech console interfaces for the various positions on the bridge, like weapons, or navigation, or engineering, with simple interfaces and basic controls in the form of small puzzles or minigames, would be a relatively realistic way to actually create some memorable and valuable new gameplay experiences unique to the technology. With such a natural interface, our game would pair the emerging couch co-op revival with the recent surge of next-wave ultra-modern MMOs and deep space games. And with everyone having a great time flying their living rooms around to the deepest reaches of the interstellar unknown, devices like the Kinect or the PlayStation Eye would finally prove themselves as useful beyond the novelty of motion-controlled minigame collections with an obvious social feature that would fully complete the living room and spaceship idea. Ship-to-ship communications, living room crew to living room crew, all around the world. The perfect cherry on top of an immersive space bridge experience. The inevitable low latency glitches might even make it a little more authentic. It's perfect. From there, the galaxy is your oyster. Team up with other player ships or don't, and the game would function much like any other MMO. There would be various different sectors of the galaxy run by various different races, and each of them would have different relationships with you based on your actions. You could do missions for them, trade with them, ignore them, or even terrorize them in return for credits, which would improve your character's ability to perform the various jobs, buy you upgrades for your ship, or if you have enough, new ships altogether. There would be plenty of space stations, alien worlds, and enormous capital ships to dock at and fight near and trade with, and at any time you could probably mark one as your new spawn point to teleport your crew back to when you die, and to have the rest of your ships sent to while you're offline so that when you log back on, you can keep going no matter what size crew you have. Now, on top of being an entirely new entry in a genre of game we haven't really seen in a while, I can imagine the real value of this game coming from this new sort of tight-knit communal playstyle it encourages. Imagine the satisfaction of jaunting around the galaxy, kicking ass and taking names with 6 or 7 of your good friends who were there in the room with you and didn't have to bring anything with them besides their tablet or their smartphone, sharing pizza and jokes with you in real time, making eye contact with you, and even just taking over your post while you quickly go to the bathroom. It would really feel like being on a spaceship, and it would be an experience unique to this game. Now granted, MMOs often cost a little money per month, which no one loves to pay, especially when it's essentially fueling a crippling addiction, but here in the Blue Sky Zone, we have a few answers for that, which could bring a whole new level of value to MMO companion apps. In a perfect world where accounts are only tied to ship captains, the first easy thing could be partnering with a service like PayPal or Venmo to enable the crew to pay their own share of the monthly fee, shaving down a $10 to $15 monthly to just $1 or $2. Another option would be to partner with a service like Amazon's Mechanical Turk, which essentially allows people to spend their free hours doing simple and repetitive tasks for small amounts of money. For the most part, it's just a neat way to supplement your income if you've got a little time to kill, but if you're only trying to make a few dollars per month and the app was themed correctly to make the jobs feel like something you're doing as part of the game world, it'd be a win-win and the game would practically pay for itself. Even further, there's now games like Foldit or Philo, which use the same basic concept as Mechanical Turk, but rather than sorting purses for sale or telling a computer what photographs of numbers say, these are games run by legitimate scientific institutions to expedite research into important fields like the human genome and protein structure prediction. Imagine if our publisher could work out a way for playing games like these to cover subscription fees for you while being tax deductible for them. That's a pretty solid win-win, and it'd feel really good as a player to help improve the human condition, even while you're away from the main game. And imagine if you could do it in-game too, from your companion app to kill time as you fly through space in your living room while hanging out, chatting, eating pizza, and drinking beers. Man, this Blue Sky thing makes life on the Outer Rim seem pretty good. So that does it for this edition of Excellent Games That Don't Exist. Thanks for doing a little Blue Sky thinking with me. Subscribe if you like and leave your comments below. Tell me what you think, run with the idea, and come up with more and more ways to make it better. In the last episode, you guys voted for which game I used footage from was your favorite. According to the comments, your favorite was Shadow of the Colossus. This time, let's go for the big guns. Star Trek or Star Wars? Leave your answers in the comments, and I'll tell you who won at the end of the next episode, whenever that is. I just want a new Star Trek TV show with Grant Morrison as head writer. See you in another life, brother!